And welcome. It is the Brett Winterble Show right here on Newsmax TV. It's great to be spending this time with you. In just moments, we should be joined by Jonathan Bell. He's an attorney, a labor attorney, who's going to join us to talk about this new bill that's moving through the House and the Senate called the POWATA bill, which is it's a bill that is designed to enable older Americans to prove age discrimination in the workplace. You know, many folks, if you talk to them and you get the anecdotes, will tell you that once they hit age 40 or 45 or 50, they found opportunities much more limited in the workplace, either as current employees or as people maybe seeking a different means of employment. And these are people who are left with few options. And it's interesting to see that in an era where we see the laws being written to protect the LGBTQ community, where we see folks being protected who are Hispanic Americans or Black Americans or Asian Americans, age affects everybody, and it knows no boundaries, and it means it cuts across all those dynamics. So let's welcome into the show. He is Jonathan Bell. He's an attorney. He's a labor lawyer, and he joins us now. Counselor, thank you so much for coming on the show today. Tell me about this POWATA bill, and the implications for employers and employees of a certain age, especially dealing with the potential pitfalls of age discrimination.
Sure, Brett. First, thank you for having me on today. So there's a bill right now in the House and Senate that's getting bipartisan support, which is fantastic because, like you said, it affects everybody. It's called the Protecting Older Workers Against Discrimination Act. It basically puts age discrimination on the same playing field as race discrimination, as well as religion discrimination. In other words, you no longer have to show that age was the sole factor in the decision to either hire, fire, or otherwise take an adverse action. All you have to do is show that it was a motivating factor. So in other words, the way that the Supreme Court ruled in 2009, that just for age cases, not race, not religion, not gender, in order to prove discrimination, which is difficult to begin with, because you have to prove it through circumstantial evidence. No one ever says they're going to do something to you because of your age. But if the court realized that age was just one of many factors, the court would rule against you only in an age case. But now what they're contemplating with this bill is reversing that 2009 Supreme Court decision, rightfully so, to say that if you can establish it was a motivating factor, of one of many, age discrimination can in fact be found.
Does this deal only with, say, someone who is being fired or laid off of a job, termination, or does it also apply on the front end to being denied a job opportunity or hiring at a company?
Yes, denied a job opportunity as well. Anything that's categorized as an adverse action, hiring, firing, discipline, demotion, suspension. So it'll apply to all those types of adverse actions. I mean, the crazy thing is what you take from the Supreme Court decision is an employer could essentially fire somebody because of their age, but as long as they have some other factor to rely on, the courts would rule that there's no discrimination, making age discrimination okay, which is insane. And I'm glad the House and Senate are both looking at that with scrutiny. I mean, the fact of the matter is, there's 76% say that age is a major obstacle in getting a new job. So also 40% of people plan to work past 66 years old. So as the workforce gets older, they're going to need these types of protections.
So let me play. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second here. Let's say I'm running a business, or I'm running a corporation, or I'm in compliance at a corporation, that department. What about the objections that you're going to no doubt hear, which is this is more red tape, this is going to kill our productivity, this is going to be more compliance issues, we're going to have frivolous lawsuits brought our way. What about that objection that no doubt will come from some corners as a response to this?
those objections would be completely inaccurate. The court system is very good at weeding out frivolous litigation. I can't just sue because I'm older. I would have to sue based on the fact of age discrimination where, let's say I was applying for a job and somebody younger than me got that job. I would have to establish that I was the obviously more qualified candidate, and the only reason they didn't select me over that individual was motivated by age. So you can't just sue just because you're older and a younger person got the job. You have to compare qualifications. At the end of the day, attorneys are not going to take a case that they don't think is winnable, so they really need to at least get some baseline evidence to, a lot of people's resumes, for example, on LinkedIn. It's pretty easy in our day and age to find out if someone's more qualified than the other person. And, also, for example, Facebook used to be able to allow, if I'm looking to hire somebody, I could actually send I can send the opportunity out to people under a certain age. I don't have to include a certain age group. And that was discriminatory on its face. So it's the purpose is to weed out that type of conduct.
Final question for you. You mentioned LinkedIn and Facebook and the social media platforms, obviously. Is there going to be a sort of a shadow effect, for lack of a better term, in that you're asking employees to be tech savvy to a certain degree or able to do certain things, and really it becomes almost a code or a coded reference to, well, we're really looking for a 32-year-old male or female and not a 52-year-old male or female who may not be as social proficient or as computer proficient. Does that run the risk of being a factor of sifting through these opportunities?
Well, the beauty of this is that you can't prejudge. Okay, you could have a 60, 70, or 80-year-old just as tech savvy as a 20-year-old, a 30-year-old. So the key is, we're not saying, hey, you got to give the job to somebody else simply because they're older, even though they're not qualified and they're not tech savvy. Right. All we're saying is, don't make that prejudgment. Now, if in fact it comes to light that the 30-year-old is more tech savvy than the 70-year-old, then feel free to hire the 30-year-old. But don't prejudge and just assume that the 7-year-old is not as tech savvy as the 30-year-old. That's all that the law is saying, which is rightfully so. And again, equal to any other types or categories of discrimination.
And it is something that cuts across the entire spectrum, regardless of sex, gender, orientation, race, ethnicity. Everybody's getting older every minute, and certainly, hopefully, people are getting wiser. Thanks so much for coming by. We really appreciate your time today, sir. And I look forward to another visit down the road as this bill moves and as different labor issues pop up. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Great stuff, Jeffrey Bell, Jonathan Bell. This is an interesting dilemma that we're sitting in the midst of, though, right? Because you have an aging population, and look, people want to work. They want to work as long as they can. I can't tell you the number of people I speak to who feel like they're being kind of pushed or forced toward a retirement or sidelining from the workforce. There are a lot of people out there that want to die with their boots on. It's a term. I don't mean it literally, but they want to work every single day of their life because it gives them something to be motivated about and excited about. And if it's your passion, it's never work. Isn't that what they always tell you? 877 Newsmax, 877 Newsmax. What we're going to do is we're going to get you an update at the bottom of the hour, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to let you hear some of the real crazy reaction from the Trump rallies. The Trump rally last night in Orlando. We'll let you hear from the president, then we'll let you hear from the critics, and there's plenty of room for your phone calls as well at 877 Newsmax, 877 Newsmax. I'm Brett Witterbull. It is the Brett Witterbull Show. Newsmax TV, back right after this.
Social media stars Diamond and Silk